Guys, running is hard enough without having to think about what trainers you need to be wearing or buying. And I remember when I first started, I was so overwhelmed by the choice, and if I had like overpronating feet, and if I needed to buy carbon plated shoes or different ones for my speed sessions. And so I'm actually moving out of my flat in like 3 weeks, and I was just sorting through my running trainers, and I thought I would talk you through my entire collection, everything I've kind of learned about running trainers, all the ones I've tried, what I'd recommend, and everything like that. So I do have a really excessive collection because I guess it is part of the job, and I've been running for like 1.5 years, 2 years now, and I have trained for 3 marathons in that, so I've like got myself quite a collection, which is great for you because I can give you all of my opinions. So I feel like I should probably, I've got them all down here by the way, like the most mammoth pile ever. I should probably start by saying running trainers are super individual, so what works for me it might not work for you. My biggest piece of advice would be to go and get your gait analysis done, which is basically like where you go to a running shop. I went to Runner's Need in London, and you basically run on a treadmill for like 2 minutes. It's not long at all. I know it sounds scary, but it genuinely is so fine. If you're nervous, go on a quiet day. And they basically like scan your feet and see how you land, and if your foot like leans in or goes out. That's what like the pronation word means. You can either be like overpronated or underpronated or standard. And they basically can recommend you trainers off the back of that. If you do go and do that but you want to be on a budget, I would recommend going, listening to their advice, taking note on the shoes they recommend, and then going home and looking at them online. That's what I did first time. And then since then I learnt that I have a very standard foot, and so I've just kind of bought trainers off the back of that. But another piece of advice would be always to size up at least a half size. I'm like a UK size 7, and I always get my running trainers in at 7.5. So in what order should I do this? I feel like I should do with what I started with. I started running in Air Force, Converse, and really, really flat gym shoes. And I wonder why I hated it. I think investing in a pair of running trainers is potentially the best thing that you can do at the start of your running journey. I know that they can be super spenny, but keep an eye out for sales. I genuinely think it's worth waiting a week or two until, if it means you can save a little bit more and get yourself a good pair if you're really serious about sticking at it, because it can just be game changing in terms of how much you enjoy the sport. But my first pair of actual running trainers were some Hokas, which I wore to death. Like when I first started training for London Marathon last year, I haven't got them with me, I'll put a photo here, was Hokas, and I loved them. Hoka have like a quiz. You go on their website, you put in if you have overpronation, underpronation, the distance you're training for, some other stats, and they'll give you recommendations, which I think is so helpful because like I said, there's so much choice out there and it's super overwhelming. So I can't remember what they were called again. It will be here. And I wore them to death, like actual death. And I love them. Couldn't recommend them more. My sister then bought them. Like, actually love Hokas so much. I did actually try and rebuy the same pair. They basically had a new version. So I think I had the 7s and they brought out the 8s after I'd finished the London Marathon, and they were just never the same. So I was attached. This is what I mean, like running trainers are so individual. You just need to try a pair and see if they work for you. But yeah, that was my first pair. And then I obviously got into running. Not obviously, I got into running and I like started to get a little bit carried away, and I started thinking about different pairs of shoes and if I should be wearing speed shoes. And I started hearing people talk about carbon plated when I was getting into like going for PBs and running marathons. And so the first pair of carbon plated shoes that I bought were the Nike Alphaflys, which I do have here, but they're on the top of my wardrobe and I cannot be asked to get it, if I'm being honest with you. And these were quite controversial at the time because so many people were getting blisters. People were like, oh, you don't need them if you're not like an athlete. But you know what, if it's your hobby and you've got some disposable income that you want to spend on some carbon plated shoes, you do that. They're basically, have I got a pair down here? These are a different pair of carbon plated shoes, but just for showing you how that works. I didn't get it at first, and basically, it's basically got carbon plate, I think like here, and so when you run, like, you spring. Right, I'm doing a really bad demonstration, but they make you super springy, they propel you forward. There's loads of science backed on how they make you faster. So if you're gonna get maybe a little bit more serious into the sport, carbon plated would be your next thing. So training for the London Marathon, I had my Hokas and I had my Alphaflys, and then I got a second pair of carbon plated shoes. Again, if you are running, you do not need multiple pairs. I know this is going to seem really excessive, but I'm just giving you my opinions. I had these, which were the London Marathon New Balance FuelCell Elites for 2023, and I did really like these, but personally still prefer my Alphaflys. I did at the time, over these ones for speed shoes. Just felt like they made me go a little bit faster. These ones occasionally gave me a bit of blisters, but still really super cute, and I do generally rate New Balance all round. And then I think I'm going to go on to like other everyday shoes that I've got, just in terms of if you are a beginner, this is like definitely more what you're going to be after. I think currently, as it stands today, this changes all the time. My favourite everyday trainers are the Cloudmonsters. So I actually bought these when I was in Australia because I wanted a hybrid shoe. I wanted something I could wear to the gym. I wanted something I could wear for like a jog if I wanted to, because I was injured at the time and I shouldn't have actually been running, and I wanted something that I could wear on like walks and also looked nice and didn't look too runnery. That was a long spiel. And I love these. These are like coming up to a year old now, and I still wear them. I wore them on my run this morning. Really just loving them. They're, again, like everyday shoes. They're not carbon plated. They're not even like built for speed or anything. I personally love Ons because I just think they are super aesthetic, and that is just the shallow part of me absolutely thriving because I love the way they look, and they like are just comfortable. They've actually got a bit of a hole here. They are like a little bit steep. Oh my god, price as well. Hoka's reasonable. They vary, they have good sales. Alphafly's extortionate, worth it and fun for me. And then Cloudmonsters, I think these were about £160. Which, when you think about cost per wear, if you run as much as me, is actually so good. And I have a new version, not a new version, a different version. I think these are called the Cloudstratus. I will check. I'll basically list and link all of these down below so you can directly, in order, follow along. But I've got them in green, and again, just like, look how aesthetic they are. I don't love the Stratus as much as I love the Monsters, personally. These just feel a little bit too hard. I like my running shoes to be like spongy and springy if they're everyday. These are a little bit more so, these feel a little bit harder, but sometimes if I'm feeling like I need my calves to work, like if my joints are feeling a bit funky and I want to like feel like I'm working a bit more, I do put these on, and they are cute. Another pair of everyday shoes I'm currently loving, and have been loving actually, all of this year, so it's now September, so all of 2024, I found myself going back to these, and it is the Asics Novablast 4s, I believe. Love these. Actually, like, might leave these out to wear on my run tomorrow. Like, really, really love them. I didn't expect, I was gifted a lot of these. Very, very kindly, what a life. Just to disclaim. And I didn't expect to love them. I honestly, truthfully, had the impression that Asics were a bit more of like a mumsy brand, a bit more of like a hikey, walky, pro runners, whereas I was trying to be like cutesy girl, aesthetic runner. Also serious, but you know what I mean. And I didn't know I was gonna love them, and they are just so comfy. They're so good. They're actually, I like the colourway. Like, I love the little blue stripe. Price wise, I think these are, I think most of them, apart from the carbon plated ones, are less than £200. Again, we'll link and price them down below, but recommend them. I'm gonna like do a little summary of what I actually recommend at the end, but right now I'm just going through my collection. Another pair of everydays. Oh, I've worn these. These are probably my most worn of this year so far, I would say. Yeah, I don't know what they're called. I want to call them Fresh Foam. New Balance Fresh Foam. I got these in my training for the London Marathon at the beginning of this year. Again, did not expect to love them so much, and I just go back to them all the time. I love the colourway. I think they are cute as. They're super springy. I get no blisters. Like, love them. On that note, New Balance, the these aren't FuelCell, they're Rebels. These are going to bridge the gap between everyday and speed, is what I would say. So those are all of my, I have one more everyday pair that I'll show you, two more everyday pairs that I'll show you. These, they have some technology in them. I'm not going to pretend to know it off the top of my head. Oh yeah, FuelCell Rebels, I wasn't wrong. They're basically like a hybrid. They're like known for being a race shoe as well as an everyday shoe. Like, I sometimes wear these for my speed sessions when I don't want to wear carbon plates, because you shouldn't wear, I don't want to say shouldn't, there's a lot of people that say you shouldn't wear carbon plated shoes all the time because it's like super high impact for your joints and stuff like that. These are a good hybrid for that because they have, I think it was called Propel technology, where it still has like a bit of a spring, like to help you go faster, and they're also super light. So I wear these for my speed sessions, but actually really, really, really recommend these. My other pair of everyday shoes that I was going to talk to you about, there's two, is another pair of Asics. These are called the GEL-KAYANO, pure gel, don't know. Love the colourway of these, super cute green. Don't find myself gravitating towards these. I'm not entirely sure why. I think, again, a bit like my green Ons, they're a bit too hard for me. Like, I don't know, I just like them to be a bit more squishy if I'm running on them every day, because I'm a easy, sexy pace runner and I just think I like the squish. Some people really like the hard though, so try. Do really think these are cute though, and I think Asics are quite reasonably priced and they last well. My last pair of everyday that I can see right now are these. I have no idea what they're called. Puma Nitro. So I was recently sent these and I opened them, and Puma for me isn't a running brand. I don't know why in my head I've got that idea. And so I wasn't always like sold that they were going to be, but you can see how dirty these are. I've actually worn them so much. They are so big and squishy, which I love. The colourway is cute, and these I have been gravitating towards. I'll give you a summary again at the end, but these are definitely up there with my favourite everyday shoes right now. Okay, so next I'm gonna go into shoes that I wear for running and then also for other things. So on Cloudmonsters being probably my favourite for that, as in I'll wear them to the gym as well if I'm doing like a high rocks class. On that high rocks topic, shoes I would recommend if you are doing like a running high rocks moment, which I'm going to be filming a training update this week, but I am doing. That's where Puma exceed. What's the word? That's where Puma thrive. They are like, I think they're the official sponsor of not all high rocks, but some kind of high rocks. These. I've got the Nitro and the Nitro again. Couldn't tell you. I haven't tried these ones yet. They're going to be something different. But basically, these are made for like high rocks vibes, so hybrid training, so you can run in them, you can gym in them. I wouldn't say do heavy lifting in them. If you're going to want to do heavy lifting in the gym, I would say get some lifting trainers or just some flat shoes. That's a video for another time. These are great. I wore these ones to compete in my first high rocks and I enjoyed them. Some people wear carbon plated shoes for high rocks, and I think, love that for you, hun. I wasn't that serious. But I guess it is a runner sport and you do want to go fast, so that does make sense. Quickly just to mention too, if you want to see aesthetics and just some inspo of two that I have very, very kindly been sent but have yet to try, because I actually haven't been running that much this summer. I've taken a bit of a break, so I haven't tried these yet, but they are on my list to try this September. Veja, which, bougie, sorry, I knew this brand as like a cute casual day wear brand, not as running trainers. They've recently brought out running trainers and are expanding into the running space. And then also Adidas ADIZERO. These are carbon plated, haven't tried them yet. Might try them towards the end of September, because I'm currently going from like hot girl summer into trying to get back to speed. So I'm going to work for a few weeks and then I might wear these and try these out for some PBs at the end of the month. But I like the colourway. I'm not normally a black trainer gal. I'm very much colours or white, but I think they're cute and I've heard really good things about them. So excited to try them. And then lastly, just to go over my carbon plated collection, have my FuelCell Elites from the first marathon, have my Alphaflys, and the ones I wore for the marathon this year were my FuelCell Elites. I think these are my favourite right now. Also, the colourway is literally the sexiest thing I've seen ever. Again, carbon plated shoes are definitely a higher price point. So let's talk recommendations and what you should be buying, because I don't want to recommend you buying carbon plated if you're new to running, because you don't need them, I promise you. So what I would wear for different races, for different distances, things like that. If you are new to running and you're just trying to build up to like say your first 5k, I would say invest in one pair of trainers. Go for something every day, get your gait analysis done, buy half a size up, buy something that is built for like 5 to 10k distances, everyday wear. There is a recommendation, like a general recommendation of how many miles you should wear your shoes for. Personally, wouldn't stress too much about it. I have never tracked how many miles I've run in a pair of shoes, and I'm aware I have like some choice, but you'll know, I think you'll start to feel on the bottom of them when they're not serving you anymore and then it's time to upgrade. My top recommendations would be I don't want to spill this, New Balance Fresh Foam, the Asics Novablast, the Cloudmonsters if you're also a hybrid gal looking for just like maybe you're tighter on budgets and want to buy just one pair of trainers, or have a look on the Hoka website, because I do actually really rate them. I know, yeah, some people don't rate Hoka, I personally do, and I guess you're here for my review. If you are looking for, that would be like 5k distance, 10k distance, even half marathon distance, they would be great options, and my top options, ones that I've tried and tested. When you're getting to more like half marathon distance, I think if you're looking to do it for like long term, like I know some people sign up to a race and they're like, I want to do a half marathon and then I'm done. So fair. I'd say one pair of trainers is fine. If you're looking to do it a little bit more regularly and maybe bring in some speed work, I would say 2 pairs of trainers if you can, if your budget permits. And for speed work, if again you're not looking for like carbon plated but you want like a different pair of shoes to maybe wear on your faster runs in the week, I would recommend the Rebels. These are the only ones I wear when I want to do speed work, when I don't want to wear carbon plated and I don't want to take it easy. So that would be my recommendation there. And then marathon training. Again, like, I know there's so much pressure as well to like have the best kit ever. You can just do it on like one pair of trainers. I just go hard or go home personally, and that's why I am in this situation. So if you're looking for race day shoes for your half marathon or for a marathon, again, I love my Alphaflys. Nike do some great running trainers. Like they are in my opinion, like the OG running brand. And then my New Balance FuelCells would be my carbon plate of choice. I wore these for the marathon this year, I wore them for Hackney Half this year, and I have not really been running since then, so I haven't worn them since, but I just love them and I think they are so beautiful. I also think my Alphaflys are beautiful. They're like the bright orange pair. I really should get them down, but I'm just being lazy. And then yeah, if you wanted like a hybrid shoe, I would say get the Puma or get the Cloudmonsters. That would be my recommendation. So yeah, I thought that was some quite good running chats for you. And I've done 0% sorting because I don't know what I want to get rid of, and I actually want to try some, but I cannot. It's too many pairs for one person to possess. On that note, if you're looking to get into running and you're like, oh my god, that actually sounds cool, I want multiple pairs of trainers and like for this to become my entire personality, and you want to sign up to a race or you want to get a plan or you want to get into it, Runner. So good. I just got to mention it. I feel like it's got to be mentioned in every running video because I genuinely do just swear by them. It's basically an app where, if you're new here, I literally don't shut up about it. I do work with them, but I genuinely I recommend it to absolutely everybody. It's basically an app where you can sign up to any like race distance, any ability, like if you're starting out, if you want to do a 10k, 5k, half marathon, marathon, ultra, high rocks, they've got it all, and it's basically an app which I'm still learning all of the cool features that they come with, and this is my runs from recently. Also on the running chats, you can follow me on Strava if you want to stalk my runs. It's not particularly anything dramatic, but I'm having a nice time. Yeah, so I would recommend that if you want to sign up to that. Also a fun feature to mention actually on Strava. You know how I was saying how people recommend that you only wear your running shoes for X amount of time? I'm going to Google how far that is. How far should you run in running trainers? I'm not sure if that was a well-worded question, but we're going to roll with it. And on Strava you can attach gear to different runs. So rather than you like in your notes page keeping a tally of how many miles you've run or whatever, if you upload your gear into your Strava, you can like call it like, oh, I'm wearing the Asics gel thingy today, or I'm wearing the New Balance Rebels today, or keep track of how many like miles you're doing it, and then notify you when you need to renew them, which is definitely something that I should do, but I'm really lazy with stuff like that. Like small admin tasks I avoid like the plague. Google says 300 to 500 miles, which is about 500 to 800 kilometers, with some shoes less, and the same with carbon actually. Like I don't know what that is, but people say like carbon plated shoes lose their carbonness after a short while. Actually also fun to mention, so conventional shoe may last 300 to 500 miles, carbon plated shoes may last 150 to 200 is what Google says. What was I gonna say? I hate it when you lose your train of thought. Oh, if I remember what I was going to say, I'll put it in the comments, but that is my current running trainer collection. Next video I'm doing is going to be, also much requested, a review of my fun fitness watch collection. Do you know what I mean? Like, I do go hard or go home. I've tried many things, so you don't have to. So come back, like, subscribe, comment. Thank you so much. Let me know if you buy any trainers. Tag me a pic, send me a pic. I also will probably get FOMO if you buy a different colourway, so maybe don't do that because my bank account needs a hand for said flat move. But that's all from me today. I will speak to you soon and announce my new goals. Have a lovely day. Love you, bye.